Morning everybody, it's Johnny Seed here. I'm just going to do a quick video. You have to excuse the light, it's very early in the morning here. The sun's just coming up. So I was just watching a video by Portugal the Man, Feel It Still. I know I'm a bit late to the party, it's probably been out a while, but I was hearing things about it, about how popular it was. So I played it and thought it's alright, yeah, good bass line, but it did sound a little bit familiar, the vocal melody, so I was wondering what it was that I was hearing, and yeah, please Mr. Postman. So it's basically what it sounds like. And so I was thinking about plagiarism and about whether you can inadvertently, subconsciously steal another song without thinking about it. I'm not saying that Portugal the Man has plagiarised here or anything like that. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. But I've seen a few other videos recently with other people talking about this sort of thing, like This Is America apparently sounds very similar to something else, and Ed Sheeran's currently getting sued for ripping off Marvin Gaye song. So I was just wondering about the whole thing about, can you steal a vibe? Can you steal the sound of a song as opposed to the actual, lyrics and melody line and notes that are written down, which is historically what plagiarism was. There seems to be a trend nowadays where people are suing people over the overall sort of atmosphere and the vibe, really, the combination of sounds, which I don't know if that's a worrying trend or not. I suppose if you've written a song which sounds pretty unique, so if you've produced a song, let's say, that sounds pretty unique, in the studio, and the combination of instruments that you've used and effects makes it sound pretty much like a one-off, and then somebody else copies that, I guess you could say that is stealing. You're stealing the ideas. But as somebody who's written songs in the past, I do know how easy it is to sort of inadvertently steal a melody line from somewhere else. I find that when you're writing a vocal melody, anything that you write has got to come from somewhere. We don't just write in a void. So everything you've ever heard it gets stored somewhere in the back of your mind, and then when you're writing a melody and you're singing it, it comes from somewhere. And so I think a lot of it is like an editing process. So you'll come up with something, and then you'll quickly go through the process of saying, does that sound like something else? And if it's a yes, then you change it, and if it says a no, then it's like, okay, we'll carry on. And it's often sometimes, and not until you get to the finished song, that somebody else might hear it and go, oh yeah, that sounds like so-and-so. I mean, that's happened to me a couple of times. There was a song that I wrote many years ago, which I was really chuffed with. I thought, oh, when you're sort of coming up with the chords and singing over it and thinking, this actually sounds like something that's worth pursuing. And it wasn't until afterwards that I realised I had accidentally written Staring at the Sun by U2. I'll insert a little audio clip of my version here.
Say what you need to say, feeling like it is. I never want it now. That's when I will be finding out to see. Never need it now. That's when I come down. I need it all inside.
And also, when I was recording with the band Golf Harris, we recorded an entire demo track, and it was only afterwards that someone pointed out that it sounded just like The Only Ones, Another Girl, Another Planet, which is a bit weird because it's a song that we were very familiar with, and I suppose we just sort of, forgotten about it, I guess, but...
I suppose we could still be friends and get together every now and then. Nothing heavy, just a drink or two and have a laugh like we used to do. It's no good pretending I can change. It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. It's not
But you know, we're writing songs that hardly anyone's going to hear. You know, we're just sort of goofing around and making music for our own entertainment. And when it gets to the level of people who have got a record contract and you're in a studio and there's producers and there's other musicians and you take it to the record label and it goes through this process where many people are hearing it and no one stops and says, well, hang on, we might have a problem with this. That, I don't know. Or maybe it's just like a crapshoot really, where they just go, well, you know, we know it sounds like something else, we'll put it out there and it'll either be unnoticed or it will get noticed and we'll get some publicity from it, and then we'll just pay off whoever it was, you know, we'll just take a chance like that, like a lottery. Anyway, that was just my quick thoughts for the morning. So yeah, do you think you can copyright a vibe? Does it have to be just the melody and the notes that you can, you know, copyright? And have you ever accidentally written a fantastic song without knowing it? Okay, I like Paul McCartney for years thought that Yesterday was somebody else's tune. So, and of course George Harrison wasn't so lucky, was he? He got sued. So anyway, that was it for today, and I will see you next time. Bye.